Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Xillia. In the last episode, we went through Bronner High Road on our way here to Fenmont, and we arrived here in Fenmont. And we tried to find the Lance of Kresnik. Unfortunately, it has been moved. And now we are on our way to look for the girl in red because we saw her on a camera security system. So now we have to go find her in Fenmont. We also did a bunch of side quests in the last episode, so we took care of that. But anyways, like I said before, since the last episode actually, I did get more equipment. As you guys can see, I've got mithril items on, I got silver leggings on, I've got a lot of good stuff on my characters right now, so that way we can increase our defense. I've leveled up the shop quite a bit since last episode, and not only that, I need to be prepared for this because this fight, if it doesn't guess, we're fighting the girl in red here. But I'm gonna have to tell you guys right now, this is going to be an introduction to a new gimmick to this game, and you'll be seeing it here soon. So I'm preparing for this because I know that there's a fight ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and use healer and make sure everybody's healed, at least that. So, like I said in the last episode, the girl in red is in here in Fenmont, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the chase and tell you where she's at. She's over here by the shops, and if you look over here, you'll be able to find her. She's right there behind that gate right there. This can be really hard to find. You have to be really have your eyes open and find it.
There she is, the girl in red.
I know you. Yes. I finally get to finish you off, and it's not even my birthday.
Sorry to interrupt your little psychotic episode, but we really need to ask you something.
Why would I answer you, Claudes?
Wait, I have seen you before. Is it possible? Are you Lady Nadia of House Travis?
Huh?
I seem to be correct. But what would compel an heiress of one of the 6 ruling houses to spy for Azure?
I don't know anything about that stinking house. I'm Agria the Shadowless of the Chimeriad.
The Chimeriad again?
So you're working for Gaius.
What's it to you?
You tried to destroy the Lance of Kresnik.
Well, duh.
We want to destroy it too. That makes us allies. If you know where the lance was taken, tell us.
Like I tell you anything.
Please, you want to destroy it for the same reason we do, right? 'Cause it's dangerous?
You reek. Oh, I've got an idea. Before I destroy the lance, I'll use it to blast Rashigul to itty-bitty bits.
What is your problem? We're working our butts off to save the world, and you think it's funny to stand in our way?
You really do stink!
What are you, 5?
You think you can fill the world with rainbows and kittens just by working hard? That sweet reek of yours is giving me brain decay.
What's your beef with hard work?
Zip it, you little pimple, or I'll pop you.
Excuse me?
I still remember the agony you caused me that day.
This girl is making my head hurt.
You seriously stink.
What the hell?
Stand in our way and we'll be forced to cut you down.
One of us finally got rid of the damn stink around here.
But now we are fighting the girl in red. Her name is Agria the Shadowless of the Chimeriad. She's level 33. Her element is fire, if you couldn't tell by already. So her weakness is water. So what I was going to tell you right now is one thing you probably want to do is take care of those little sorceresses. They're just in the way. You want to go ahead and take care of them. Thing is, though, about Agria, this fight in particular, as you guys can see, Mila's already down for the count. This can be a little bit tricky. It's not like all difficult, but be mindful of this, because one thing in particular that Agria does, she's going to be starting a gimmick, and you'll be seeing it here soon, and this is going to be a gimmick for the rest of the game. Well, it's not really a gimmick, it's just a gameplay element to it. Whenever you see an enemy, especially a boss enemy, start to glow, they'll kind of announce the glow. And then you see them use an art, there's the glow. But whenever she uses that with a red exclamation mark and hits you, she activated a mystic art. This is the ultimate technique. This is the character's ultimate technique. So she just used a mystic art right now. And it really does hurt. And it's really flashy, as you guys can see. What I'm going to be doing for the remainder of this LP is we're going to be trying to see all the mystic arts in the game. And I will be doing a bonus episode when the LP is done, kind of doing like a showcase of them. Because mystic arts are really flashy and they're really cool. But I will be saying that the bosses are going to be using this from now on. Like, not every boss, but every like main character boss will be using this gameplay element from now on until the end of the game. And this gets really annoying. You don't want to be caught into that. So if you see a character glow, like start to glow, and then they use like an art and it has an exclamation mark behind it, get away from it. They're going to activate a mystic art at that point. But if you just exploit Agria's weakness, you should be able to beat her.
What's wrong?
Mila, I don't stink, do I?
No, you're totally fine.
Ah, did I ask you?
I love that one. That was so funny. She's like, Mila, do I stink? No? Yeah, here's the information about the mystic arts. Certain enemies will use mystic arts. And like I said before, if you see them glow, and then they use an art, and it has a red exclamation mark above their head, you want to get out of that way.
I should warn you, I'm still not used to the sensation of sweating during exertion. Couple that with my somewhat clumsy sword grip, and well, you might consider being a little more cooperative. Where is the lance?
A secret passageway runs under the laboratory. It connects to Orda Palace.
And that is?
That's the palace Noctigal rules from.
I've never heard of this passageway.
Is it still usable?
Only if you're a worm. It's caved in now.
So we can't use it.
Hey, get back here!
Maxwell, one of these days, I'm going to rip that pretty face of yours to pieces! And you, Pimple, listen up. Work, work, work as hard as that scrawny body of yours can handle, and you'll still wind up with only two things: Jack and Squat.
Why do you say stuff like that? That girl has serious issues.
Orda Palace, the enemy stronghold.
We should be careful.
I know. Let's check things out first.
So after that, we have another skit. Agria, the Shadowless of the Chimera.
Why did that Agria girl say such awful things to me? Is that wretched little urchin actually nobility?
Yes, I do believe that she is the scion of the Travis family. The Travis estate was destroyed by arson a few years ago. Most of the Travises died in the blaze.
She lost her whole family? No wonder she turned out that way.
How interesting. You can sympathize with someone you despised mere seconds ago.
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of thing Agria would say reeks of naivete.
Perhaps she would. But I find it to be a kind and gentle smell.
I agree. Oh dear. Perhaps we're starting to smell a bit cheesy ourselves.
Thanks, you guys.
As you guys can tell, Leia and Agria are going to kind of have a little bit of a rivalry from this point on. You'll understand why as the story progresses. But our next objective is to go to Orda Palace. You come down this hallway down here, or this pathway here that has like the giant glowing yellow trees. That's the way to Orda Palace. So we need to invade Orda Palace and put a stop to Noctigal's plans once and for all. So if you come down this long pathway, there's also a save point here if you need save.
Huh. I figured security would be tighter than this.
I don't suppose we could just charge inside.
That wouldn't be prudent. This is their stronghold.
Rowan? What's the matter?
I was just weighing options. I think Jude might have the right idea here.
Whoa, hey now, are you serious? For once, Mila's telling us to be cautious and not charge in.
Do you have a plan?
More of a hunch, actually. Shall we test it?
If it's good enough for Rowan, count me in.
Stop right there!
This seems a little brash. We are fighting Roshagal's troops here. We're actually going and charging into the main palace. What is wrong with us? But anyways, one thing in particular that we need to be careful of from this point on, we are in the enemy stronghold. Now, I mentioned when Agria was glowing. We're kind of glowing too. I want you guys to be remembers of that. She went, when Agria used her Mystic Art, she went to Overlord. That's why she was glowing.
Power.
Friends!
Strategy.
Hard work!
Let's coordinate, people.
I think that works in our favor.
But yeah, Agria was an overlimit when she did that. That's why she was glowing. Keep that in mind for a while.
Any reinforcements?
Looks clear. But this is the king's house. Shouldn't he have more soldiers?
It could be a trap.
No doubt the Rashagal army has already been deployed for war with Azul.
But wouldn't they tighten security around the royal palace in wartime?
Except for the natural and man-made barriers that protect Fenmont in the north and south, it has few defenses in the event of a siege. If the enemy army breaches its walls, the city is as good as fallen. Troops are wasted here in wartime, so the majority of them are deployed to fortify the naval defenses in Fort Gondala.
That makes sense. But it also means war is imminent. We can't waste this opportunity.
Indeed.
So, while Rashagal is down, defense is down, we need to go inside and destroy that stupid Lance. So, as of right now, we're going inside Orda Palace. Now, this is like any other dungeon, but this kind of has a gimmick to it. Orda Palace, if you see here, you'll see something.
This is a lotus ring, a device that ferries people throughout Orda Palace. We must use it to proceed further.
All aboard?
As Rowan said, they've got these lotus rings here. But first, before we go on these lotus rings, we got a skit. Orda Palace.
Whoa! Orda Palace is huge! And it's so sparkly and pretty!
I've never seen anything like it.
The entirety of Orda Palace was made out of a single lumen tree. They channeled spirits to grow it into the shape of this giant palace in just 5 years.
This is a single tree?
Wow, their spirit arts are incredible.
Oh, you guys actually believe me?
No, not at all.
We just thought it sounded true!
Isn't that the same thing?
But anyways, like Rowan said, there's these lotus rings. If you step on one, you can actually travel between the floors on the Orda Palace, and they'll warp you there. But if you come up to these doors here,
What is this thing?
I admit I haven't seen anything
strictly for security. I've never seen such a thing.
I guess just walking through was too much to hope for.
Naturally. But this won't be enough to stop us.
Well, it looks like, you know, just because the troops aren't here, Orda Palace isn't defended well. Yeah, they casted an art on the doors that spawn these little creatures that you have to defeat in order to get through the door. So, that's kind of a little gimmick of this dungeon in particular. So, you have a bunch of these energy being monsters that will attack you. So, they kind of act like bosses, but they're not really bosses.
Not bad.
But, they're really not that hard, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But, after you do that, we can actually proceed throughout the Orda Palace. And like any other
I
dungeon...
can't believe I'm visiting Orda Palace. It's like a dream come true.
This isn't visiting. This is breaking and entering. Welcome to Rashagal's Most Wanted.
But, like any other dungeon, these have Ifreeze treasures in them. So there's 2 Ifreeze treasures in the palace itself, so be mindful of that whenever you go through here, if you're looking for the Ifreeze treasure. This is kind of, it's not hard to come back to this. This isn't like a missable dungeon or anything. None of the Ifreeze treasures are missable in this game, so don't worry about it. You can actually come back later, and you'll be able to get it. But we were actually fighting another sorcerer reskin monster, character, enemy thing. But, like I said before, Orda Palace is a dungeon, so you'll be able to scavenge for materials, get treasure chests and stuff like that, which is kind of weird that you're going through a palace. But like most RPGs, there is a palace you go invade because you're. In most RPGs I've played, you had to fight an evil king, which we're kind of doing in this game. So we're fighting more Rashgal defender troops, and we also were fighting this new enemy, which is another bat. I think these are wind-based. Actually, no, they're darkness-based. So if you have a light weapon, you can actually do a lot more damage to them. But Mila actually leveled up. So now let's progress through this. Orda Palace is not a real big dungeon. I'm going to be saying this right now. The remainder of this video may be Orda Palace, but I'm going to tell you right now, this you can get through it just fine. But if you're doing stuff like I'm doing,
but I guess this isn't the time.
But if you're doing what I'm doing and looking around for stuff, that can kind of take time away from your visit here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Just short pinches. Let's go ahead and take care of this guy, but we've already fought these guys, so gotta go off-screen them. Thing is about Orda Palace is on this, on these floors, you have these rooms you can go in. And these will have the treasure chests that you look for. You're gonna be looking for treasure chests, they're gonna be in here. We got an earth cap from this treasure chest, and also be mindful, look around on the bookshelves and stuff like that. You can find items there too, like if you're looking for like material and stuff like that. Like, if you come over here near the items, it'll say check, and you can go ahead and pick an item up. But that was that room. And if we come over here, there's going to be like 3 rooms on each floor. You can kind of go in and do that. But if we come over here, there's a red sage in there. And we got a title, Treasure Hoarder. Yeah, there we go. We found a certain number of treasures in these, and stuff like that. That's how we got that title. And we got a dark cape from this treasure chest. And I do believe there was another treasure chest. I almost missed that. And it's like, it's kind of hard to see this because it's like right against the wall right there. But it's not a treasure chest, it was a bag. But it has a pearl inside. There's going to be a treasure chest in one of these rooms that's like that. And you almost completely forget about that. But I'm going to change the arts on Jude here because I was trying to heal the character up because the last fights were actually kind of tough. So I was like healing up. And I was like, Lee's needs healing because she got wailed on. So let's go ahead and open this bag up. And we got mysterious beads. See, mysterious beads are found everywhere. So for that side quest, I found a bunch of them. So we got another holy bottle from that. And inside this treasure chest right here is fruit and cheese, another food item. So if you come over here and look around, like I said before, look around the furniture. You'll be able to find stuff. But that was all 3 rooms on here, so now we can actually progress with the next floor. First, we're going to fight another enemy here. These are Rashagal military officers. So these guys are just another reskin of the fast claw people. But I'm actually kind of linked up with Elise right now. If you're using healer and you use Link Dart with Elise, you can actually do like a fairy heal item, a Link Dart that will heal the whole entire party. I don't know by how much, but you'll be able to heal them up a little bit. Let's go ahead and beat the crap out of these guys. And we actually confused one of them. Rowan actually confused one of them with his splash move.
Are you okay? Yep, I'm all okay.
But there we go, we've defeated that particular enemy. And we have not found our first Eye Freeze treasure yet. I think it's on the second floor if we come up here. If you go here, you'll be able to climb to the next floor. The Eye Freeze treasure is actually behind this door right here. So if you want to make sure that it's there. Anyways, inside is a party hat, which is another accessory you put on your character. But like the front door, actually there's a Bakura right there. I was like, oh no! I missed the Bakura because of cutscene. Damn it! That kind of irritated me a little bit. I was like, there's a Bakura there, but it's in the cutscene trigger. But now we're fighting another door guardian, which is like these big beast monsters. Well, this is actually, I think, the first time we've actually seen these types of enemies. These are going to be really hard enemies because they actually trample you. And they do a lot of damage when they trample you, so be mindful of that. I think this is the first time we do that. And then they'll start doing their stomp move, which is really, really devastating if you're not careful. These guys hurt, which makes sense why we're starting to see their breed really late game. Actually, this isn't really late game, but it's like in the middle of the game. But if you keep attacking these guys and wail on them, they won't get a chance to attack. So they're not really that hard. It's just be careful of them. They're really, their damage output is ridiculous. But done that, we've earned the title Soul Tapper. How you get that one is Elise had to use her Tipo Drain skill a certain number of times. But that's on the next floor, and actually you come out from the other side. As you guys can see, this floor kind of loops around from the previous room, but come over here, we'll be able to go through this door. And now we're on the second floor. Now, if you come over here and grab this item, got some more sharp pincers, and the second Eye Freeze treasure is actually, if you come up here, you'll be able to go up to the next floor, but I'm not going to go there because I want to explore a little bit. I was trying to find, I don't know why I paused there actually, but if you go through this room, we'll be able to get some more treasures. Be mindful, there is going to be a side quest that involves us being here much later, or not much later, but like soon. We'll be able to see it probably like next episode. So we got some more stuff, and if we just keep looking around, there's another one. It says, I got too many lemon gels, I can't hold that. Let's go ahead and open this chest. It has pineapple gels in it. So let's go ahead and grab this item right here. We got 1,000 gold in it. And I think that's all the items in this room I can get. So we're going to go ahead and go through the next. Oh, nope, there's one more. There's an all divide. What that does is it divides damage from both us and the enemy by 50%. So if you're really hurting when come like a hard boss fight or something like that, you can use that, even though it doesn't you won't damage the enemies as much, but you'll take less damage from the enemies. So it's really good for hard boss fights, I really would say. Anyways, we got a rune circlet in this treasure chest. When we come in here, there's a melons gel, and if we come into the other drawer, there's a treat, which will heal the whole party. And there's nothing in there. And then there's a bag that has meadow crystals in it. And I think that's all the items in this room. Now we have one more room to explore, but there's also a very hard boss, or very hard enemy here. I kept this fight in because it has a new enemy in it that we haven't seen yet. Let's take care of these bats first. You'll probably see them, but that enemy is another big plant monster. It's another one of those guys. And those guys really hurt. You actually run into them, I think, only by doing this, the rare monsters where you have to fight them with the exclamation mark above their head. So be mindful of that whenever you go and fight these guys. Yeah, see the big plant guy? Let's go ahead. I think he's weak to fire, if I remember correctly, but I'm not too sure. But these guys are really tough, like I said before. don't really fight the exclamation mark monsters unless you know for a fact you can actually win. So the reward is really nice, which is just a bunch of experience points. But stuff like this happens where I'm really getting hurt because of Shadowgate activating on me. So be careful of that. I'm trying to get rid of this guy here. I'm trying to link up with Elise because I'm working on a title. I'm trying to get all my characters, like the titles for all the characters being linked up together by a certain number of time. That's why I'm linked up with Elise right now. Yeah, he's weak against fire, so there you go.
Really the only way?
That was that monster, and that took a little bit longer because, well, that was a harder enemy. And we actually got a title from that. It's a Scholar of Rare Monsters. You get that from finding a couple rare monsters. Like I said, rare monsters count as monsters that have exclamation marks on them, which are tougher than normal, and Bakoras. Bakoras count two towards that. So if you're wanting to work for that title, honestly, if you go back inside and just like re-enter rooms and stuff like that, you'll run into them really easily. You'll increase the chance of running into them. But anyways, let's go inside this room and let's see if there's any more items in here. There's a bag, and it has 1,000 gold in it, so we're making some good use of money here. And we've got a jet black feather, so we got 25 in there. We got a fitness ring, which increases our dex by 10%. And we got a monster. We're gonna kill him. And inside is the Scroll of Finn. Thou shalt not touch the shell. Thou shalt not consume spirits. Thou shalt not think of homelands past. Thy former homeland is home no more, and that but hath become an exile of those who failed in those premonitions. I think I said I didn't see the last word last second before I clicked off of it. That's just there for just, you know, you reading it. That's really no purpose of that whatsoever. So if you want to know what that is, it's just nothing really. But let's go ahead and scale up to the next floor. And you come in here. The next Ifreeze treasure is actually on this floor that we're going up to right now. If you're wondering if it was there, no, it's not. I don't think so. I think no, actually, we're on the top floor. We haven't gotten there yet. I just now remember. I was like, wait a second, I haven't gotten the Ifreeze treasure yet. But first things first, we gotta fight Door Monster. Inside is these guys with the butterflies. They're really hard enemies, so be careful of that. They do cause poison, so if you're trying to get poisoned, be careful of that. Like Alvin's already poisoned, but make sure Elise knows Dispel at this point. Dispel gets rid of status ailments, and it's really helpful. But these butterfly enemies will always do status ailment on things on you, so be careful of that. Go ahead, but there's not really much else to say about these because we've seen these enemies before. They're just a little bit stronger versions of them. But let's go ahead and beat the crap out of them. These are the last guys. And we gotta use a spray of poison. Go ahead and beat the crap out of you. I'm trying to save up my linked arts for a lot more, but you'll see why here soon. But with that, I actually just now realized, back looking through this, we haven't gotten that Ifreeze treasure yet. I will show the location of that as soon as the episode is done. We didn't grab that second Ifreeze treasure, which I'm really surprised about. I'm going to go ahead and level up my character here. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't sped up this portion with Elise because something happened whenever I was leveling up with Elise. If you get to a certain point, right here, you unlocked a new Lilium Orb. I think it's around level 38 where you unlock this new Lilium Orb. So now you have 2 to maintain. Now, you can actually swap between the 2 by pushing start. But what I usually recommend is finish out the first one. Even though you unlocked it, finish this one out because you're almost done with finishing out your first orb. So we'll be completely finishing out our first Lilium Orb by the time that this is all said and done. But like it's around level 38, level 37 where you unlock your second Lilium Orb, which you start all over again on a new Lilium Orb. And you unlock more skills and whatnot. whatnot. So be mindful of that. I wanted to show that on screen because that's kind of an important detail during the level up process. And it happened to Leia too. Leia kind of did that too. But let's go ahead and we need to heal up. I'm going to go ahead and do that because, well, behind that door is Lance Kresnik. So we need to be mindful of that. But anyways, guys, in the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia, we are going to be going and finally putting a stop to the Lance of Kresnik. That, I will see you guys in the next episode.